Alexis. Today's session, this was good to use the drum, and it's a perfect way of combining hands-on, your questions.
Honestly, I had no idea what the hell to do.
Well, I know, and I was playing I heard you swallow, and she thought, oh, she's gonna let me sit in this, yeah.
But that's actually why I brought in the drum, is because it felt like it might help us get someplace.
Yes. What I sometimes forget, and why we're taking time with this whole piece now, is because you have not had the experience of facilitating yet.
It's uncomfortable to sit. And I mean, I will say in part because I do think of you as holding all of those qualities that you're still working through, that you may not perceive yourself as holding, but I do hold you that way. Or that's how how you are for me, in my experience of you. And so it's also there's that piece that it's how to hold space for someone who's your mentor. That's a really big deal.
That's a heavy duty job, isn't it? Yes, yeah.
And it's also a real gift, because it's really special, because we all do have our vulnerabilities, and it's profound when we can help each other as collective we.
Absolutely. And my part of my philosophy is that I have to be willing to put my stuff on the table, and whatever I teach is true for me as for my students. So teacher, student, teacher, student. It goes back and forth. You exchange roles all the time, and being vulnerable is a place that I have to be if this is going to be helpful to everybody, because I can't just stay protected and back in my shell. There's lots of school of thoughts about the psychologist that just sits there and says, well, how do you feel, and waits, and never shares anything of themselves. This is not the way this works. All right. But I do forget that in the beginning of Karina's work, we had, all day sessions from 9 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock at night, with 4 people working with each other, 3 people working together, working in pairs, asking these questions, and then knowing how to move in, which you can do more of the next time, but your probing questions were coming, and I purposefully held back and tried not to help you too much, because I can reveal, I can open, but that part of your job is to open the client. They're not going to be so forgiving, if you will, so cooperative.
Right, cooperative.
And I tried to be authentic in that moment, as I don't know where it is. I don't know exactly what the issue is. We were fishing. I didn't know where we were going,
right,
at all.
It was interesting because it started with independence, and then, but we didn't know what quality of independence.
And what that had to do. There's a whole thing about relationships and aloneness and growing old and all of that stuff too.
Yeah,
but the crux of it is what you got at today. That was the most important piece.
But it's where you led me.
Yeah, but your questions had, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
That's true,
So
right?
unless you ask the right questions, you're not going to get the opening from the client.
Right.
Your questions are really very crucial.